Here we have a supply and demand graph for chocolate bars. When the supply and demand are on the same graph, we also get the equilibrium. To find the equilibrium, we just look for the point where the supply and the demand cross each other. And in this case, it's right here in the middle. Label it E for equilibrium. To find the equilibrium price, we look at the point and then look to the left, and then we get our number, which is 30. So the equilibrium price is 30, and to find the equilibrium quantity is you look at the point and then you just look down, find the number, and then the number in this case is 15 for the equilibrium quantity. And now suppose there's a change in the taxes. They increase the taxes to produce chocolate. So increase. This would result in a change of supply but not in a good way. This would make the supply line shift to the left, and we're going to label supply 1. This is the red line, is a new supply line, and once we get a new supply, or once the line shifts, we also get a new equilibrium. And to find the equilibrium, we just do the same thing. Look for the point where the supply and demand cross, and it would be right here. Label it E1. So that's the new equilibrium. And to find the new equilibrium price, we just do the same thing. Look to the left, find the number. In this case, equilibrium price is $40, the new equilibrium price. And to find the new equilibrium quantity, we find the number, and then in this case, it is 10 for the equilibrium quantity. And there you go. Here we have a supply and demand graph for chocolate bars. When the supply and demand are on the same graph, we also get the equilibrium. And to find the equilibrium point, it is where the supply and demand cross in the graph, which would be right here. This point means that the supply and demand are equal to each other, which is also the definition for equilibrium. When we get the equilibrium, it also comes with the equilibrium price and quantity. To find the equilibrium price, you look at the point of equilibrium, and you just look to the left, and then you find your number, and in this case it is 30 for equilibrium price. And to find the equilibrium quantity, you look down from the equilibrium point, and you get 15. And now suppose there's a new quota that restricts us from sending out, in this case, chocolate to foreign countries, which would decrease our supply, because now we can't sell to the same people that we used to sell to. So that would mean a change in supply. And this is a negative thing, because now we can't supply as many chocolate bars to foreign countries. So the line would move to the left. Should be right there. And this new line is the new supply. And when there's a new supply, there's also a new equilibrium. And this case, it would be right here, because this is where the supply and demand cross and touch. And to find the equilibrium price, we just do the same thing. I look to the left, we get 40. And to find the equilibrium quantity, we just look down for the new equilibrium. And you would also label this the new equilibrium, so equilibrium 1. And now we just put it in the numbers. So for equilibrium price, we got 40. And for the new equilibrium quantity, we got 10. And there you go. Here we have a supply and demand graph for chocolate bars. When the supply and demand are on the same graph, it also comes with the equilibrium. To find the equilibrium, it's where the two lines both touch, and it gives us a point, which is right here in the middle. E for equilibrium. When we get the equilibrium, we can also find the equilibrium price. To find that, we just look at the point of the equilibrium and then look to the left, and then we get a number, which is 30. So 30 is the price for the equilibrium. And to find the quantity of the equilibrium, we look down and we get 15 for equilibrium quantity. And suppose there's a change, or there's a fall in the resource prices. So resource prices, they fall, they go down. So this basically means that it is cheaper to find cheaper to produce the chocolate. So this would equal a change of supply. This would shift the supply line to the right. So shift it to the right one, right here. And this is the new supply line, and with the new supply line, we get also a new equilibrium point. So right here would be the new equilibrium point, and we found that by just doing the same thing we did for the last one. Is we just get the point where the two lines touch of the supply and demand. And now with the new equilibrium, we also have a new equilibrium price and equilibrium quantity. So let's go find those two. Let's start off with the equilibrium quantity. We look down, we get the number, it's 20. And to get the price, we look to the left, and it is 20. There you go.
Here I'm going to be doing an example of change in demand according to taste and preferences. So first I'm going to find the equilibrium point, which is right where they intersect, and the equilibrium price, which is horizontally, which is 30. And then vertically from the point to find the quantity, which is 15. A fad of eating chocolate bars ends, therefore the demand decreases. After the decrease in demand, there is a new equilibrium point right here. So I'm going to be doing the same thing to find the new equilibrium price and quantity. So here I'm going to go horizontally, which is 25, the price. And then vertically, which is 12. This is my new equilibrium point. I'm going to be doing an example of change in demand according to income. First, I'm going to find the old equilibrium point and the old equilibrium price and quantity. So right where they intersect is the old equilibrium point. I'm going to go horizontally from the price to see what the equilibrium price is, and vertically to find the old equilibrium quantity. In this case, the old equilibrium price is 30 and the old equilibrium quantity is 15. In this case, an individual's income decreases. Therefore, the individual can afford less chocolate bars. Therefore, the demand for chocolate bars decreases. After the demand decreases, there is a new equilibrium point, right where they intersect. Therefore, there is a new equilibrium price and a new equilibrium quantity. To find the price, we go horizontally to the point. In this case, it's 25. And to find the new equilibrium quantity, we go vertically, which in this case is 12.
Okay, so this is a supply and a demand graph. And first we have to find the equilibrium, which is going to be where the supply and the demand curves intersect, which is right here. First we're going to find equilibrium price, which is on the y-axis. That lines up with 30. And we're going to find the quantity, which is on the x-axis. That lines up with 15. Okay, so this is going to be a factor affecting the demand, an increased price of a complement. So a complement of a chocolate bar can be fruit. So people like strawberries and chocolate, and they can be complements. So if the price of fruit increased, that would decrease the demand of chocolate bars. So that would be a demand shift this way. And then our new equilibrium would be right here, which would be lining up with 20 of price and 10 on quantity. Now this is going to be the same thing except for the expected price in the future. So old equilibrium is still at the same spot, $30 at 15 desired quantity. So if the expected price of a chocolate bar in the future is going to be higher, people are going to want to buy it now while it's cheaper. So this would cause an increase in demand at the moment, causing the curve to shift this way, making our new equilibrium right here at 20 quantity desired and $40 of the new price.
This graph discusses a change in demand regarding the price of substitutes for candy bars. So, as always, it's the same equilibrium point, or same old equilibrium point here in the middle. Same old equilibrium price at 30, and equilibrium quantity at 15. Now let's say a substitute for chocolate bars, let's say a gum, for example, the price of that increases. So the demand for chocolate bars increases as well because people are more likely to buy chocolate bars now that the price of gum has increased. Meaning that the line would go here, increasing. Meaning there's a new equilibrium price, and it would, well, first off, that's the new equilibrium point right there, and the new equilibrium price, you go here to this, new equilibrium price would be 40, and the new equilibrium quantity would be, we go down here, 20. Now this concludes a change in demand regarding prices of substitutes. Now in this graph we're going to be talking about a change in supply regarding expected future price. Same as before, we're going to have the same equilibrium point here at 30. The price, the same price and everything, price and quantity here at 30, and then here at 15. Now let's say the expected future price of candy bars is going to be higher. As a cause of the price being higher in the future, supply is going to be held back, meaning it's going to decrease, so it's going to go to this point. This line moves up, shifts up, changing the equilibrium point to right here. This is the new one, right there. And this changes the equilibrium price to 40. And the candy bars down to 10 at a quantity of 10. And this concludes expected future prices. In this graph, we will be discussing a change in supply regarding technology, using candy bars as an example. To start off, the point where the two graphs meet initially, or the two lines meet initially, is the equilibrium point, which is right there. So an E right there. The old equilibrium price we find by going from the old equilibrium point and going to the left of it, and we see it's 30. We do the same thing, except this time we go vertically, so we go down to find that it's 15. Now let's say there comes a new technology that allows candy bars to be made at a cheaper price. So then this increases supply, so the line moves down there, like that. This creates a new equilibrium point, which can be seen right here. Now from that new equilibrium point, we go to the left again, to find that it's at 20. And we go down to see that it's at 20 as well. This concludes a change in supply regarding technology.